Linda Hopwood, pastor of Ives Chapel United Methodist Church. We are clearly living in unprecedented times. A week ago, on January 6th, we observed Epiphany. Usually, Epiphany represents a season of light. But what we saw on Epiphany this year was anything but light. As our elected congressional representatives gathered to certify the votes of the Electoral College, an armed mob stormed the U.S. Capitol and disrupted the constitutional process that is the final step of electing a president. Windows were broken. Locked doors were smashed open, and insurgents forced their way into the building, carrying Confederate flags. Some even carried Christian flags, although what we saw wasn't really a good representation of Jesus Christ. Once in the building, they broke into the offices of elected officials, smashed desks and lecterns, and stole laptops and files. As a nation, we are struggling to understand how we could ever have gotten to a place where people would feel these violent acts were justified. And we're also struggling to figure out what we can do that can begin to heal the terrible rift that's now clearly visible. Next Wednesday, on January 20th, a new president and vice president will be sworn into office. After last week's siege, there are now many who fear there will be attempts to disrupt that process too. And to add further troubling information to the mix, the FBI reports that there are extremist groups calling for armed protests at all 50 state capitals. As disciples of Jesus Christ, where do we go from here? I believe this is a time when we are called to be on our knees as we go before God. This Sunday, January 17th, is Human Relations Sunday, the Sunday before the observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. On this day, we are encouraged to support opportunities for social justice. This year, Great Plains Conference Bishop Ruben Saenz Jr. also is calling for us to observe this Sunday as a day of healing and hope. And finally, this Sunday marks the beginning of a period of 100 days in which the bishop invites us to set aside time each day to pray for the healing of our country and for a smooth transfer of power. We are encouraged to use a prayer from the United Methodist Book of Worship entitled A Prayer in a Time of National Crisis. I think we can certainly consider this time to be one of national crisis. You can find this prayer on our church website, and I encourage you to look it up and make a copy of it for yourself. Then beginning Sunday, use it in a sacred time of prayer each day through Easter on April 4th. I believe that praying for our country and our political leaders is one of the most important things we can do. As followers of Jesus Christ, it is our duty to confess and lay aside every weight and sin that clings to us, as the Apostle Paul writes in Hebrews. Then we are called to pray for our nation and for all those who hold positions of authority. As Paul writes in the first epistle to Timothy, we are to offer prayers of intercession and thanksgiving for all who are in high positions, so that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and dignity. I encourage you to join with other United Methodists and pray daily for our country. This prayer practice offers a way to renew our covenant relationship with God and to offer a vital healing balm for the deep wounds that divide our nation. May we move from crisis into a season of hope. Amen.